Let's go.
Hello and welcome, people. Sports Freestyle by InfinOdin, episode number 4.
Four. Yeah. Hmm.
I don't know why I got confused. Episode number 4, Sagar and Aashish. Today we're going to discuss Premier League match day 5 and some other goodness from the world of football across Europe and some fantasy sports. Sagar, do you want to take the lead and dive into Premier League? That's
Yeah.
like how do I say, the golden egg of football at the moment.
Yes. I think yeah, it's undoubtedly the best league in the world. But I'm going through the results and I'm thinking, should I just go with the jersey I'm wearing with, or should we just start off on a Chelsea Tottenham result and go from there? It's your choice.
Let's do Chelsea Tottenham.
Let's do that. So Chelsea v Tottenham. Uh,
3
London
nil.
Derby? London Derby, right? It's
Is
not
it is it
North
still the
London Derby.
London Derby?
Yeah, it's
is
the
it is
London
it
Derby.
still a derby?
Pff, Looking at that performance, that result, I don't think so. Chelsea were like leaps and bounds ahead of what Tottenham were challenging. So yeah, I think a masterclass, I would say. I really like that game. I'm not sure if you saw the transition happening within the game, like from the halftime to how the game changed in favor of Chelsea with the tactical switch that Tuchel made. So yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. I think Tuchel now is one of the best coaches in the world, I would say, right? Like at par with what he's doing, he can get at par with Jurgen Klopp and Pep pretty soon.
Well, that sums it up. That sums that game up
Yeah,
because Tottenham, the way they set up, they were giving some headaches to Chelsea, and then Tuchel immediately changed the game at halftime. Was it? He
yeah,
brought off Havertz and Mount, and then changed the system, and immediately the game belonged to Chelsea all of a sudden.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Nuno had no answers because that was his only tactic. It worked
yeah,
until it
yeah,
worked.
yeah. I think it was the first 15 minutes that Tottenham really played well, like pressing high, trying to win balls high up the pitch, and trying to get Son and Thiago Silva isolated as much as possible onto a one-on-one situation, create chances there. But once Tuchel realized that he was getting overwhelmed in the midfield and bringing on N'Golo Kante in the second half, kind of changed everything for Chelsea. I think
I
just to
mean,
go over this. Good.
three CDMs,
Three CDMs, but
three CDMs
still,
all of a sudden.
yeah, but the thing is, if you see the interesting thing there is that he didn't quite come back to a double pivot situation. He still made sure that there was one sitting and two of them were free and roaming in the midfield. So that created an overload again on Tottenham, and they couldn't handle that
Mhm.
pressure. So I think the goal scorers were, even though we are talking a lot about the midfield and the front three, the goal scorers were Thiago Silva, who is 37 years young, Rudiger, and I think a deflection from Kante, right?
Kante.
So yeah, total dominance. I don't think Tottenham even had like a shot on target in the second half.
Oh, Tottenham was nowhere there in the second half. I was looking at the highlights reel, and it was just Chelsea, and they could have
Chelsea,
scored
Chelsea.
more. They could have scored
Absolutely,
more than three goals. It was
absolutely.
like they were playing for fun. The defenders were sort of playing as if they are the strikers as well.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. What do you think about this? The situation at Tottenham with Eric Dyer. I know that the second defender, Christian Romero, is a new one. But
mhm.
what are your thoughts about Eric Dyer? Like, what do you think of him as a central defender for Tottenham and even England?
That's a good question. Like Eric Dyer, I think, is a converted centre back,
Yeah,
and Mourinho started using him in that role. And I had a feeling Mourinho preferred Eric Dyer as a defender than as like a midfielder
right.
or like a defensive midfielder. Eric Dyer certainly has capabilities at the back, but then we saw him play with Toby Alderweireld
Yeah,
for
yeah,
a part of his career under Mourinho, and then I think was it last year when Toby Alderweireld stopped playing and Davison Sanchez came
Yeah,
in, and then
yeah.
we saw Tottenham implode because I did not see a partnership forming there. Davison Sanchez has mistakes in him, and then Eric Dyer is still a converted centre back.
Yeah,
So it's like it's not a traditional centre back pairing. So that's like the weak link with Tottenham. They
yeah,
need one solid centre back
yeah. No,
to
absolutely.
partner Eric Dyer.
No, that's absolutely fair. Like, I'm of the same opinion as well. I don't like Eric Dyer, who is a converted midfielder trying to play in the central defense position. And he also has a mistake in him. Like, every now and then he would make a huge blunder and cause the game. So yeah, I don't quite like Eric Dyer in that position for sure. But yeah,
I think it's
overall,
it's because of Tottenham's riches in terms of the central defending midfielders
yeah,
that they have.
yeah,
Like every midfielder that I see is like a CDM.
yeah. But the question on everyone's mind is what is happening with Kane? Is he auditioning for like because Pep wanted a number nine? Now he was not able to get Kane. Is now Kane moving on to a deeper midfield position and trying to audition in that position and see if Pep might pick him up
As a
in the
midfielder.
December, yeah, in the December window as a midfielder.
I think
Like,
Pep
what
has
is
a lot of
happening? What is
options.
happening with Kane?
Kane, his heart's not there anymore. And we all know
Yeah,
that Kane
yeah,
really wanted that move. He's done
yeah, yeah,
as much as he could do for that club. And frankly, COVID sort of pushed them into a corner.
yeah,
They brought in Mourinho thinking that he would take them to glory days. But then, what's this guy? Daniel Levy. I think he swung his axe two times too soon
yeah,
with Pochettino and with Mourinho, and he did not give them a chance. Given Tottenham wasn't doing well towards the end of the last season, but sacking Mourinho before a cup final,
yeah. That didn't
I
make
mean,
sense at all.
who does that? Like, if there is someone you can back in a cup final, that's Jose Mourinho. And
Absolutely.
then you sack him, I think 2 or 3 games before that, and you think that you can get in or attract a great manager next season. Like, are you kidding me? You sacked Pochettino, who wasn't given a chance in the one off season that he had, and we knew that he had a off season. Why? Because the players were tired. He asked for new signings. Their centre back pairing was getting old. They had lost Musa Dembele. I think Musa Dembele is one of the most underrated CDMs in the league. Full of energy, full of power. He had, an odd goal in him as well. And they did not have him anymore. And Christian
Yeah,
Eriksen was also on a decline.
yeah,
And the moment they did not replace him, and now we see that they have these gaps all over the pitch. This reminds me of Man United. Under Louis Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho, we had like gaps all over the pitch. Like we had these individual brilliant players, but that was that.
no, no,
And
absolutely. I think you're right. Like, do you feel like it might be a little bit too late for Kane if he does not get his move this December?
I think it's, I wouldn't say it's too late for Harry Kane to get a move. He can still get a move, but will Tottenham get 150 million pounds? No,
Yes,
they
that is
won't
the
get
question,
150
right? So,
million
so
pounds. No.
essentially, they're making a loss, right, by keeping Kane for let's say a 6 month extra, where he's even if you keep him now, he's still not putting in those performances on the pitch anyway. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's no point
yeah,
in having him there and keeping a player who clearly does not want to stay. And this reminds me of the Wayne Rooney situation under David Moyes.
yeah,
We
no,
frankly had a
absolutely.
bid for 50 million pounds from Chelsea. Mourinho wanted him, and Rooney was like, everybody could see that Rooney was,
He
going
was
down.
trying to, yeah, he was vying to, yeah, make that move
And
happen. Yeah,
and then we gave him a big contract and made it look like, oh, we signed a striker when we clearly did not sign a striker and we needed a striker.
that is true. Yeah.
So this is,
So, so historically, it's been proven, right? Like, these kind of situations don't end well for the parent club at all. Like,
they don't like, you have to let go of a player.
yeah, absolutely.
If you want to rebuild, you have to let go of him. And we saw that situation with Barcelona as well. They kept Messi, I think, maybe 2 years
too long.
longer. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
they should have sold him, gotten all the money they could have, and rebuilt the squad. That's what Real does. They don't care about the best players. They just let go. They sold Cristiano for 110,
yeah,
bought in Eden Hazard. They'll still sell Eden Hazard for 70 odd, 80 odd, get some money
absolutely,
off him,
absolutely.
and
Yeah,
start challenging again.
yeah. I think yeah, it is high time for Tottenham to let Kane go and make some money off of him and invest in better younger players who can be up and coming for them
Or maybe
in
an
their future.
experienced striker. Like, how long has it been since Tottenham have had a proper striker? They've been trying to get Kane's, what do you call, a second in command for Kane. We've seen Vincent Janssen come in.
Yeah,
We've seen Robert Soldado come in.
I think now they have. I think if I'm not wrong, their second striker is Vinicius something. I keep forgetting.
I thought he
S-
was on loan for last season and he went back.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. So they essentially they have just Son covering for Kane, I guess. Then.
And Lucas Moura.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah,
Like,
Tottenham overall. I anyways don't like the style of play of Nuno. And now that Tottenham are trying to emulate what Wolves did a season back, it's not going to end well for them. I mean, I
they got
think
this guy though, Brian Gill. But then again, he's a winger. He's not an out and out
yeah,
striker.
yeah. They got him from La Liga, so that those kind of players do take like some time to get embedded into a
Oh,
system and get used to the Premier
absolutely.
League. So it's unfair of those players to like expect some results from those players, right? It's
Absolutely.
yeah,
And even Emerson Royale, I mean, he was with Barcelona. Barcelona bought him this year
yeah,
and they had to sell him because of financial troubles. He'll take time and getting
absolutely,
used to the pace of the Premier League. And
absolutely.
Tottenham will struggle. They still have a good group of players and they just need to reinvest, sell your best asset
Yeah.
and get better players in who can stay with the club for like maybe 5 more years. You'll have an off season. Let this be your off season and start again.
Yeah, absolutely. I really I was hoping that they would let Kane go and kind of bring Dominic Calvert-Lewin or someone of that kind of
Oh,
player who can partner
he
with Son and I was really hoping that that combination can work, right? Like or
he's like a
at least on
Nuno player.
paper it looks like yeah, exactly.
I feel
He
like he's a Nuno
he's
player. Do you
he's
see it?
of he's the same kind of a player like Raul Jimenez, the player he had in Wolves who did amazing for him, right? So, yeah, I was hoping those kind of investments could have been made by Tottenham, even though things wouldn't have worked out. You still know that it's a transition phase, and you can come up anytime after that. But yeah,
But yeah,
it's not
dire
looking bright.
situation in North London, but then
Yeah,
South London with Chelsea, I can see the Premier League title,
yeah,
sort of facing towards Chelsea at the moment.
yeah, yeah. I even posted this on our group chat that day when I was watching the game. I read this tweet, really good tweet from one of the journalists, I think, that the team which finishes above Chelsea is going to win the league. So that's about it.
That's an amazing prediction.
Yeah.
Like even Nostradamus could not have predicted that.
Yeah, I think that's about it, right? Like if it's Chelsea, definitely looks like it's Chelsea's to lose. It can be Liverpool who finishes first,
Oh, and
but it's
interestingly, you bring up Liverpool, Chelsea, and Liverpool
yeah,
have had the same set of results. What's
same set of
happening?
results. Yeah,
What's happening? Exactly the same result, match by match.
yeah,
Like Chelsea win 3-0, Liverpool win 3-0. Chelsea draw 1-1, Liverpool draw 1-1. But that was the same game.
yeah.
Their draw was against each other, but then they've been mirroring each other's results. And I've been surprised by Liverpool's performance.
You
Frankly,
know,
I thought that this would be a tougher season for
yeah.
Liverpool, but they're uh, they're
yeah.
playing well.
You know the technicality with which Chelsea is actually topping the league is the fact that they were away in that draw. They played at Anfield, so that is the only reason why they are top of the
Mm.
league and not Liverpool, because
Dude,
everything else is the same.
what if Chelsea wins the season like this? Like not on away goals, it's just an away draw.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But
This
what
is
if
this has
Liverpool
never
get a
happened
2-2?
for yeah.
What if Liverpool get a 2-2 draw at Chelsea?
Then
Who will
Liverpool
be a better
would
team
yeah. I think
because
that
of
is the
two goals?
technicality, right? Yeah, exactly. If you score two away goals, I think that's how you
Mm,
yeah you get to the top. But yeah, you're right. Liverpool v Crystal Palace 3-0. It's really interesting because, like you said, everyone was saying that they might not have the depth or those players who can come from the bench and actually give them results. But it looks like they have depth. It looked because in this match, both Trent and Robertson were not playing. It was Simicas and Milner playing as covers for them.
James Milner. When will that guy retire? But this is where Liverpool's frailties lie. I don't know what you think about it.
Mhm.
We're just 5 games in. What will
Yeah,
happen after Christmas when probably Liverpool's deeper into the Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and the Premier League, and the players have played 25, 30 games, including international friendlies qualifications? Now you're talking about fatigue setting into the squad. Does Liverpool
but do you
have a
really
squad to handle
feel?
it?
Do you really feel that things are going to change for Liverpool
I have a
that way?
feeling they would, because Liverpool when Virgil van Dijk got
Mm,
injured last season, we could see their form sort of tapering. Right, they were not stable at the back just without
yeah,
Virgil van Dijk. Now
yeah,
Matip's a good centre back. Konate is still pretty new and fresh.
yeah.
We don't know how that new pairing would work, but Virgil's presence and Allison behind him, I think that gives Liverpool
That's
confidence going forward.
yeah,
You take one of them out, and now you see a squad that has errors in them.
yeah. Absolutely. I think that is exactly like Liv- I think Van Dijk didn't play in the Champions League game and they conceded two goals.
Hmm.
And the moment Van Dijk comes back into the squad, they keep a clean sheet. So it kind of shows you that he's the backbone of the team, and if anything kind of happens to him, any kind of an injury for me for which he might have to miss, let's say 2 3 games, that's when you would see Liverpool dropping off a little bit. But at the moment, I think that the player who Liverpool definitely cannot afford to lose is Mo Salah. He is
Yeah,
in some form right now. Like he's absolutely killing it with his goals and assists and overall contribution. So yeah, I think
we agree.
Salah is
I
irreplaceable for them.
is there like is this African Cup of Nations happen every year?
Yeah, this season as well. But I think Liverpool fans are saying that it will not have that much of an impact because the run of games during that time is uh, not that difficult. So I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But against all odds, Liverpool are kind of carrying forward that last to last season form and bringing in the heat to the Premier League
Hmm.
and trying to keep a pace with Chelsea and what they're doing.
Keep up
Um,
with the Joneses in the Premier League.
Absolutely, I think that is the top two. The third team is Man United at third or second?
I think Man United is
Third,
third.
no? Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So what
we're all level on points. It's just that
goal
our goal
differences?
difference
Yeah,
is 9, but we've
yeah.
scored more goals, interestingly,
Mm,
but we've conceded more as well.
mm,
And
mm.
it's an amazing war. It's like Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United have had the same results: 4 wins, 1 draw.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But
So
it's yeah. What about
I,
what? Good.
it's like it's like looking at Man United there, level on points. I'm like still surprised how
They're
we're still
looking
there.
out of place. Like
Yeah,
United is looking a little out of place there.
I see
But
2 games against Wolves and West Ham.
yeah,
2 games that we should not have won,
yeah. Hmm.
but individual brilliance won us the game.
I would disagree there, but yeah, go ahead.
It was individual brilliance. Mason Greenwood
No.
against Wolves.
Wolves
Mason
maybe you
Greenwood
can
against
say,
Wolves,
but
and then
not West Ham.
against West Ham it was Jesse Lingard
Nah.
whose goal took us ahead, and then David De Gea saving the penalty.
I know.
Without them,
Yeah.
I feel West Ham played better, even though they played Europa League game on a Thursday. They were still
Uh-huh.
better
Uh-huh.
and they were more coherent as a team.
Yeah, I know I agree with the first point you made where Wolves might have been a lucky win, but the United and West Ham game, which was crazy to say the least, was definitely some credit to Oli because he brought on the players who actually made that goal happen. Even though I know Lingard scored a great goal, right? But but if you see the goal as it happened, it was Matic who came on for the last 10 minutes who made that incisive pass. It was Jadon Sancho who was involved in that run of play, and Lingard who turned and took that shot and made that goal happen. So yeah, there is some credit because making those changes, everyone knew that Lingard was going to come on against West Ham, right? Like Oli
But
would
why
have
not?
assured him for sure.
But why not play Matic from the start? Like give him 50 minutes, and get those goals in. Go 2-0 up, go 3-0 up,
Mm.
and then bring Fred and McTominay. With Fred and McTominay, we don't see any forward passes, slow build up. There is no momentum in the game. Fred, I think, ruins momentum
Yeah,
while defending and while attacking. To me, he's not, an exciting player to watch.
that is for
Mc,
sure. Fred kills the momentum of the game for
and
sure.
then you put McT alongside him, who has no vision for a pass. He can get a good goal. He can break, an opposition's play. He can get in those dirty fouls. He can run his energy, no doubts. But both of them together, none of them are press resistant. They
Yeah,
easily lose the ball, and then they do not find forward players, and they go for easy passes, either
absolutely,
sideways or back to the defender. And with
absolutely.
and we saw that happen quite a lot. And then we also saw Harry Maguire making mistakes because, frankly, Fred and McTominay were out of position, and Harry Maguire had nobody to give the ball to.
Ah, this is just horrible. Like Harry Maguire making those mistakes, and yeah, it is painful to see. At least I think it was the first 30-35 minutes we played really well. After that, a stretch of 15-20 minutes, after a little bit of the first half and the second half, it was painful to see for sure. But I think the point you made about starting Matic every game, I don't think it is possible to start Matic every game in and out, right? Like for the whole 90 minutes. But you're right. He could have easily gambled and then set Matic up and allowed Pogba to start in the midfield, Jadon Sancho, Greenwood, and Ronaldo up top. But yeah, I really hope that
I
Ole
mean,
kind of takes. But
there are enough teams there in the Premier League that Matic can start against, like Burnley,
yeah,
Wolves,
yeah, yeah,
Southampton,
yeah,
and then Watford,
for sure,
Brentford.
for sure.
Like these teams will sit back against United,
Yeah.
right? Play Matic in these games. We don't need Fred and McTominay together. Play them against bigger teams like Liverpool, Man City.
You know the funny thing is if United drop out of the title race, which I feel is going to happen sometime around Christmas, it's going to be because of the midfield. Because all the other top four teams have a solid spine in the midfield, which allows them to express in these kind of games where teams kind of sit for a low block, right? So that is going to happen for sure. You are definitely right there. United is going to drop out whenever that is off the title race because of Fred McTominay and our defensive errors for sure.
And we have Donny sitting on the bench. In the preseason, we saw Donny and Matic
Yeah,
start together, and they formed an effective pairing because Donny allows Matic to just stay back.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
why Donny has that forward pass in him.
yeah.
Matic can find Donny, and then Donny can find another player ahead. Now, if we play Matic with McTominay or Matic with Fred, we both know that
That is, yeah,
Matic would
yeah,
have to leave his position to go up and find a player and pass because Fred and McTominay will not do that. And then Fred and McTominay get caught
absolutely.
at the back because they can't defend for their lives. So
No, that
to
is
me,
fair.
Matic is an essential, like he's an essential component and he has to play some of these games. And that's where Ole, I feel, is missing the tactical plot.
Missing, yeah, 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 for sure. But what are your thoughts about the fact that am I saying? What are your thoughts about the penalties, the penalties that were not given, and the penalty that was given, and what ensued after that?
Well, we should have had a penalty. Like that would have killed the game. Chris, Cristiano had like three penalty calls. The
Yeah,
other two were I don't think they were
yeah,
penalty calls.
yeah.
They were
They
very
were
soft,
okay.
and
Yeah,
Ronaldo was trying to take
yeah,
advantage. I feel that played against him
yeah.
because when the third time it happened, the referee was like, you're just playing me, and
But
he
but
has
but
history.
what is the point of then VAR having VAR there then? Like,
It was silly, like not when War also did not ask who is this guy Martin Atkinson
yeah,
to just go and have a look
even yeah,
at
even
the
look
TV
at the screen. Yeah.
because that third one was a sure shot penalty. Zuma came in, dived and got
Stonewall.
Ronaldo,
Yeah, yeah. A-
and now you're not even looking at it.
Yeah, but I think it balanced out the scales with the penalty miss of West Ham as well, because
I
I
don't.
felt like it was balanced out after that, like not
I had
getting
a
that.
feeling as soon as I saw Mark
Yeah,
Noble
yeah,
running
yeah,
in,
yeah,
I just got a feeling. I'm like, this guy will miss the penalty.
yeah,
David Moyes has lost the plot here.
yeah.
You should not
Never.
like his choice was okay. Like we all know, get in the penalty taker to take penalties, but then the only kick of the game, that's where player is not 100%. It's 50-50, and the keeper knew that.
No, absolutely. I think you're right. Came away with a win there for Manchester United 2-1. That is good result. The other top four contender you see right there is
Man City.
City Southampton with a dreadful draw.
What's happening
Uh,
with Southampton? They're like the draw masters.
yeah, yeah. Everyone was saying last week that drawing against Southampton at home, I think it was away for Manchester United. What a terrible result! Everyone was blowing things out of proportions, and now when City draw, I don't see that commotion happening on Twitter or anywhere else. So that's the bias side of me trying to defend Manchester United, but I think Southampton did deserve something out of the game. I'm not sure if you saw the penalty shout there as well.
No, I
I
didn't. I
think
didn't see the game.
so. What happened is Kyle Walker, I think it was Armstrong who was clean through. Kyle Walker came across and blocked him off while he was taking the shot. Uh, I think the on-field referee said it was a penalty, and Kyle Walker was given a red card, direct red card. But VAR
Oh,
intervened. The referee went back and saw what happened. He changed the decision from not a penalty and also took back the red card. So everyone was like baffled to see what was happening because everyone felt, at least everyone who was watching it felt that it was a penalty, but the red card was a little harsh for sure. Maybe you can overturn the red card, but the penalty should have stayed. Like I don't know what happened there and how and why the referee changed his decision, but yeah, Southampton definitely should have gotten something out of that game because City, on the other hand, were horrible. Like, oh, I'm not sure. Like, Pep, what happened to Pep? Maybe he has lost the plot a little bit because before the game he was asking fans to show up in the stadium and help them overcome this game because the players will be tired and those some comments he was making. But yeah, City drop. I think City have dropped 5 points as of now, and I think it
but
is good.
we all know about City.
They can go on a run, right?
They they're very sneaky,
Yeah,
and we saw this last season. United was like, I think United was 5 points ahead of City at that point in time,
yeah,
and then before we knew it, City had already put up a lead of 9 points
yeah,
on United, and they just came in with 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, slow wins,
yeah.
and then they just burst through. That's how City does it,
No,
and
absolutely.
they
I think they can go on a run anytime, and it's very
but they are a
unsafe.
small but they are a small club. If a manager has
Yeah,
to coerce the
ask
fans
ask fans
to
to come and support the players. Yeah,
yeah to come and watch the games, I mean, you're not in a legendary club. They're like trying really hard to make City one of these iconic clubs. They have a very recent history.
Yeah.
And frankly, I like you can change your logo, you can bring in Pep Guardiola, you can bring in the best players in the world, but City still does not have the historic pedigree that United and Liverpool do. Like I even put Chelsea along with City.
Yeah.
Chelsea have been there longer in the Premier League than City, but still Chelsea, in terms of iconic, I can't consider Chelsea an iconic club.
But yeah, I think they still have. I think Chelsea do have a history behind them with Champions Leagues and those historic
Mhm.
nights they've had with Barcelona and everything. They have had those kind of games where you know that fans get very passionate about a club
Mhm.
and everything. But yeah, on the other hand, we have City who are building the base as in the past 5 years, let's say. They will have fans for sure down the line, maybe 10 years or 15 years down the line when these current crop of young fans grow up watching City and they have their legacy of their own. But right now, I agree with you. City are struggling to make an entity, even though they have everything at their disposal for sure.
Mhm. And interestingly, now City has some really crazy fixtures.
Spicy games, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ooh, they play Chelsea. I don't know why. I have a feeling Chelsea will again nick out,
yeah.
a 1-0 win.
Or a draw even. I think that might be a fair result, but yeah, I'm hoping for a draw. But yeah, you're right.
It it
Big,
has the makings of, Chelsea scoring on the counter 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, like United ground out some wins against City,
yeah.
or it Pep Guardiola would just come away with a 0-0,
To
like
yeah, yeah,
to avoid another result, because he did that with United. Remember, that was the game that kickstarted Guardiola's uh, season,
yeah.
where he set up the most boring squad we ever saw, like the most
And just
boring
yeah,
draw
just took
we
up
played.
1-0s, 1-0s, 1-0s. He racked up those 1-0s and then kind of scraped through a run of form where like it was 12 or 14 unbeaten games or something like that,
Hmm.
something crazy like that,
Hmm.
and blew everyone out of the title list. So yeah,
Yeah. And Chelsea have had the better of City in the FA Cup semi-final last year, and then the the
yeah,
Champions League. So I know Pep would be a little
little
wary
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
cautious
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
this game. He would
yeah,
want Chelsea to go on a a hat trick of wins
yeah.
against City, because now if Chelsea win against City, City will go like what, like if every other team wins, City are like 6 points
You're starting to see gaps
away.
form right now, right? Like you are starting to see a couple of teams peeling away from the rest, and the table kind of taking shape a little bit, even though it's
Hmm.
quite early. But I know like in the next 5 games you should start to see the table taking shape a little bit more for sure.
Hmm. But yeah,
Um,
interesting, spicy fixtures ahead for City. I'm like excited to see them play against PSG as well. Guardiola's fanboy Messi at PSG. How
yeah,
would that play out?
yeah, he's. I was watching the highlights and he looked completely unhappy to be subbed off in that game, and yeah, it's never going to work out at PSG. I always had that feeling because the amount of ego they have on that pitch with Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, those kind of players, and you know that yeah, it's a hard and a difficult job for Pochettino to manage for sure. Coming from Tottenham to a club like PSG, it's
And then all of a sudden you have these big stars. Ramos hasn't even started yet.
yeah, he has still not
He's waiting in
started.
the
Yeah,
wings.
yeah. And these are the
It'll
egos we are talking about, and managing those players is difficult.
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see that game for sure. Between Ronaldo and Messi, I know we're like running out of time, but between Ronaldo and Messi, like I feel Ronaldo goes to a club, and you know that he will put his heart and soul into it. He doesn't care what manager is he playing with. He knows he'll score goals,
Yeah,
and he'll score goals.
yeah. I know people always say that we are lucky to have these kind of players play during the same generation and everything like that. But I, keeping my bias aside, I feel that if United manage to win, let's say, the Premier League this time around, I think it just makes the case for Ronaldo to be to surpass Messi for good for sure, because that would kind of seal the deal for me. You coming
Yeah,
back
because you're not.
to the Premier League at the age of 36, 37, and if you manage to win that Premier League, I think it just does it.
Yeah, and Ronaldo has played in the better leagues than Messi. Like he's played in the Premier League,
Yeah,
played in the La Liga,
yeah,
and then he played in the Italian league. They're all better than the French Farmers League.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the level of competition that's there. So that'll be an
Absolutely,
interesting season to watch for these two legends of the game.
absolutely.
So what next? Who do we cover next? We've covered like all big
Arsenal,
teams.
Burnley.
Oh,
Let's go
Arsenal,
down a
Burnley, big
little bit.
teams. Okay,
Let's
we're
let's
talking about the second half,
let's
the
go
bottom
to
half
the
of the
yeah.
table.
Let's go to the second half of the table. Let's flip over a page and let's find Arsenal there.
I mean, it's
Um,
interesting. Arsenal does not even show up in our conversations now. We're like, oh, what's happening with City? What's happening with Liverpool? Tottenham's not playing well. And amidst all of this, Arsenal's like happily chilling, and their fans are like, "Bro,
yeah,
bro,
yeah,
we're still waiting. Talk about Arsenal. Just
yeah.
say the word Arsenal, and we'll be happy."
What's funny is that I was going through this tweet today, and there was this comparison made before the international break, right? Tottenham had won all of their games, had not conceded a goal, and were at the top of the league, right, with 6 points.
Oh, yeah.
On the other
9 points,
hand, 9 points,
9 points. They
sorry,
were
yeah.
three on the trot.
Arsenal, Arsenal, on the other hand, before the international break, had not scored a goal, had conceded, and had not put a single point on the board. Now, come the international break, Tottenham have not won a single game, not scored a single goal, conceded. Arsenal have won both of those games, scored a goal, and not conceded a single goal. So you see how
Mm,
football has kind of taken like it's a funny old game. Like people, I think the next week we have
that's
Tottenham
Arsenal Tottenham.
Arsenal. Yeah,
I was, I
that
was,
will
I
be a
was
good
about to
game.
say, I was
Yeah,
about to say, now this is a proper derby. These are
yeah.
two teams at their levels
The mid
fighting.
table teams who will be fighting for the
Yeah,
same kind of spot. Yeah, it will be a
fight,
good watch. Yeah,
fighting for North London. Is North London red or is North London white?
yeah.
That'll be
It's
decided
going
on
to be.
September 26th. Outside of that, North London has no identity in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think that is going to be interesting. Though that game will kind of show that which team is vying for that Europa League and can manage to scrape that Europa League
Hmm.
spot from the other team. So it's going to be interesting, a real test for both Arteta and Nuno as well to show what their teams are capable of. So
But I
that is
feel
going to be
Arsenal will
interesting.
take that game. I mean, Arsenal's like,
Yeah, I always have
they
that
have,
feeling, right?
they have Arsenal has better players. Like again,
Yeah,
they've been the banter club, but I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie, their transfer market business has been really solid. They know that they
yeah,
had gaps, and they brought in young players because they also know that they did not have money to spend. So I feel
yeah.
they've done a great job in the
Yeah,
market.
I'm not sure about the transfers they made, but I was pretty happy seeing their first 11, which included players like Partey, Aubameyang, Gabriel, Ben White, the new right back who I will not try and pronounce the name because I'll butcher it.
Tomiyasu,
The I think left back Tierney, Ramsdale
Kieran
coming
Tierney.
in, and actually Leno, in my opinion, was a shit goalkeeper to
Oh,
be
Leno
fair.
is
But
overrated, very
yeah,
overrated.
Ramsdale has brought that calmness back to the back four. So it looks like things are falling in place for Arteta, but you never know with Arsenal again. Like they make you laugh one week, the other week they they show some signs of resurrection, and they again
They do
become that
that, but
banter
I
club.
don't know. This season, I'm getting that feeling that this squad is settling down. Like especially if you look at
Yes,
the
it
core
is.
group,
Yeah.
like Kieran Tierney and Bukayo Sako.
Yeah.
and then
Saka,
Emil
yeah,
Emil
I forgot about
Bukayo
Saka, yeah.
Saka, Emil
Hmm.
Smith Rowe, and Gabriel Martinelli. I mean,
Yeah.
their youngsters are pretty solid and have
They're
good
good
futures ahead.
players.
I
They're
mean,
good
like Ben
players.
White, I see him if he
He,
fulfills his potential. I see him as a very good centre back for like the longer run.
yeah, 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 for sure. I think Thomas Partey coming back has really helped Arsenal with
Oh, he's
those transitions.
way better than
It's
Zaka and
yeah, it's
and
kind of
Elneny.
sad to say, but Arsenal, I think, at least in the number six position, have a better player than Manchester United at this point in time. Like, if we had Thomas Partey in Manchester United, I think would have killed it.
If you had anybody, like even you or I could go in and
Yeah,
have done the job better than Fred and McTominay. That sounds
yeah,
pretty far fetched, but that's how low we rate Fred and McTominay at the moment.
sure, for sure.
And I believe it's good for the other clubs because we are giving other teams a chance to effectively, take advantage of a weakness
Yeah,
in that midfield position.
absolutely. I think the other game which I found interesting watching was Brentford Wolves. Happy for Brentford getting the 2-0 result.
Mm, is
They
this Brentford kind of like Sheffield United in their first
Yeah,
season back in
yeah,
the Premier League?
exactly. That is exactly what I was going to say. Like it feels a little bit like that where you have that bounce of coming in new to the Premier League and have those string of results where you put up a passionate performance, you get some results, tend to stay up, but the next season it comes
I mean,
falling down again.
it'll be interesting to see like if they can keep hold of their better
Yeah,
players and because they do have some good players like Ivan Tony.
yeah.
People, I think teams haven't figured him out yet. And then
Yeah,
Janssen
they kind
is
of play the old-fashioned 4-4-2 as well. So it's good to see. Like it's very attacking. You have two players every time up top, staying Ivan Toney and Mbomu. I think
mhm.
those two
Wow.
players. Yeah,
I thought you'd butcher that name. Like you couldn't say Tomiyasu, and he was like, "Yeah, Ivan Toni and then Mbumu." You're like,
yeah, yeah. I was
"Did you
watching that
practice
game,
that name?"
so yeah, I was watching that game, so heard his name in the commentary a couple of times because those two players were harassing the Wolves defenders throughout the game. So those two names were spoken about a lot. So yeah, a good result for Brentford there, 2-0. Uh, the other shock I think I felt personally was we didn't talk a little bit about was Brighton and Leicester 2-1.
Oh, yeah, what's happening at Leicester? Is it like,
Wheels are coming off.
yeah,
Is
or
it?
do are they missing? Are they missing some important players in key positions at the
No,
moment?
no, no. They have everyone available to my knowledge. I I think it's just Fofana who is not available. Other than that, everyone else is fit and ready to play. I think it's just Brendan Rodgers hitting a slump. Um,
But they're still a
from
pretty solid squad, Leicester. Like if you look
pretty
at them,
pretty solid
they're
squad.
like one of the most stable teams, I'd say, in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think they have that player. I think Barnes coming back is a real positive for them. Ademola Lookman, who is an exciting prospect for sure, pacey young player on the wings who can make counter attacks happen is exciting.
I
So
have heard this name a lot, Ademola Lookman. I think he's played for a lot of clubs, Everton,
yeah, yeah,
Fulham, but
yeah.
never,
Leipzig. I think it was
yeah, and went to
Leipzig.
Leipzig as well,
Yeah,
came to Fulham,
yeah.
and now he's at Leicester. Like, is he a good player to
He's pretty
cement a spot?
exciting. Pretty exciting. He does make things happen. I think he came in because Gray moved over to Everton and they wanted someone to be replaced there. So they brought in
Mm,
Ademola Lookman, who is kind of the same ilk of the player. So that is good. But yeah, they're not putting up those results. Brighton, on the other hand, very impressive. Now, I think fourth on the table, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, they're fourth.
Um,
Like, I feel like Brighton will be looking at a meme and like, what are we doing here? they
yeah,
they
yeah, for
usually
sure.
they usually finish fourth from the bottom,
for sure.
but
I
I
honestly had them as relegation contenders this time around, but they are shocking everyone. So
they
that's
keep doing the job. They keep
yeah.
doing the job. They were the ones who lost Ben White, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is the reason why, like, you lose someone who is an integral part of your defense, and you still manage to put up these kind of results. Is it's really impressive for a team like Brighton and Graham Potter as well. Uh, so yeah, and a
Do you
team to watch out for sure.
do you think Graham Potter will be at a different club this season?
This season, hmm, kind of hard to say who might get the sack first. But Graham Potter, I feel like it might be mid-table club who might be interested in Graham Potter, but yeah, not having that experience of managing those big players, right, is very difficult coming into.
Come on, he's managing Danny Welbeck and Adam Lallana.
uh
They're like Premier League champions, Sagar. What are you
Come
saying?
on, come on.
Like he's managing two big egos in that squad.
Whew. Yeah, yeah. I think the biggest player they have is Neil Mope, and I think Leandro Trossard is doing really well as well. Um, that is one player I have my eye out for in my fantasy Premier League.
Trossard, I'm gonna give you a little tip. This guy is always exciting, right?
Yeah,
He in the first 6 games or 7 games,
he
he's
does well.
he's
You
right
know.
there.
Yeah, yeah,
And then all of a sudden you see Trossard's like he's not getting the returns. And
yeah,
I have faced that 2 seasons in a row. I brought Trossard in. He gave me
yeah,
returns. Like 2 games he gave me returns. I was like, hey, you know what? Budget option.
yeah,
Let him stay there. And the next that I see is like Neil Mope stopped scoring. Trossard's not doing anything, and
yeah,
Brighton's gone off on this run where they are not scoring goals at all. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
it does not make sense to keep Trossard.
yeah. No, that is true. Uh, if you have any other games we should be talking about, or we can move
Aston
on
Villa
to.
3, Everton 0.
Yeah, yeah. That was a
Like
game.
Aston Villa is like an exciting team now. Like they to me they feel like Leeds of last season but better.
No, yeah, I think Mike Dean really wanted that to happen when he brought those players in, right? Like Leon Bailey, Danny Ings up top, uh, starting him with Watkins. So he wanted that fluidity in his team. And Leon Bailey, I'm happy for that player because I kind of knew about that player before he came on to Arsenal. Sorry, to Aston Villa. So yeah, it's good to see him performing. He came in as a replacement for Grealish, which is
That's
huge boots,
huge
huge
boots
shoes
to
to
fill.
fill. Yeah, yeah.
Like
But
I want Varun Lakshmanan to be here. This guy feels like Grealish is like an overrated midfielder. Like I don't think he's an overrated midfielder. Grealish is one guy who's like worked his
yeah, yeah,
socks
yeah.
off to
He
be where he is.
he's real quality. I would have absolutely loved him at
Like
United for sure.
he's the United
He's
player. Like
he is
that guy
absolutely.
personifies attributes that we want
Oh yeah,
in players, and we missed the
absolutely.
trick. I would
Yeah,
have
yeah,
let Pogba go happily.
yeah, yeah. I
Gotten
would have
Jack
gotten
Grealish.
Grealish. Yeah, absolutely.
Bro, this guy can unlock defenses. Now, if you're in that low block, you have Grealish
He actually
on the
makes that
squad,
happen.
and you
Yeah,
have Ronaldo up ahead and Greenwood there. He's to
the
me,
amount of crosses he would have put in is brilliant. I could just think about it. Like, yeah, he's absolutely wrong. I don't think Grealish is an overrated player. It's just the fact that he plays for City that makes me a little apprehensive to kind of appreciate what he's doing as
and
a
he's a
whole.
United fan.
But he's absolutely a wonderful player.
I mean,
Yep,
we missed the trick that season when
yeah,
Aston Villa asked for 50 million pounds for Grealish. I mean, 50 million pounds was like chump change
yeah. We
at
should
that
have
point in
got,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Like he's way better than Marcus Rashford. I know it's a controversial opinion as a Man United fan,
Yeah.
but I still feel he's better than Marcus Rashford on that
Yeah,
as an inside
Grealish.
left
Yeah, I would have
forward.
absolutely loved Grealish at Manchester United or any team, let's say. But
Dude, imagine we could have given away Donny van de Beek to Aston Villa.
yeah,
Like he could have filled in that number 10 role that he really wants. He could have played day in, day out. and we get Grealish, another player who would play day in day out. Both parties happy, and now we are without Grealish, and Donny van de Beek is not playing.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only player I like from City. That's Grealish. That's it. No other player, and maybe to some extent Diaz. But yeah,
Diaz is a solid defender.
those two players are the only players from City I kind of have a soft spot for.
So that covers our Premier League
Yeah.
roundup for match day 5. I think we've pretty much covered every single team, dived deep. And then if you look at the managers, Thomas Tuchel's right there at the top.
Oh yeah.
He's giving me Conte vibes, but better. He's
Yeah.
like, I mean, Conte 3.0, like the third iteration. Same tactics, but executed in a better way.
And the in-game management he has, right, as well. Like the amount of changes. He never shies away from making the change. And also if you
He's,
see his post-match conference or interviews as well, right? He comes out and says that yes, Mason Mount was playing like shit. He was not playing the part he was supposed to. So I took him off, brought Kante on, and still managed to put him in the same position and get the result. So
Mhm.
he's not afraid of saying it publicly as well. He knows that he has the players on his side and they will do whatever he wants to get that result and get them over the line. So that is absolutely great. Tuchel, I think, is currently going for the Pep and Klopp level of manager.
I think he's had a good,
Level.
he's a good career. Starting, I think, got a good chance at Borussia Dortmund to sort of establish his credentials, and then went to PSG, managed big names. That's what you need on your resume, managing big names. Maybe Pochettino went there for the exact same reason.
Yeah,
You get to manage Neymar and Mbappe in a league where you know you're the one who's fighting for the title.
yeah,
And once you do that, you can pretty much go to any other place if you want. So in terms of Tuchel, and we've seen him do well against United,
yeah.
like except that 3-1 that we won, that was like an anomaly of a game. But then
Yeah,
last season in the
yeah,
Champions League, I think PSG turned around the second game where we lost.
yeah.
We lost to them.
Yes. I think it
Another game
was
because of
at
Fred.
home. It was home. I think it was
It
away.
was
No,
home.
it is away.
It was home. It was home.
Keep
We won
forgetting.
away.
Yeah, we won away, but at
We
home we lost. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
we lost 2-0 or 2-1, I think.
Maybe a 2-1. I think Mbappe scored for sure. I remember that.
Uh-huh. It was Fred. I think Fred was still on. He was supposed to be taken off
Oh, he
with
got sent
with
off.
with
You're
the
right.
yellow
Yeah, yeah,
yellow
yeah,
card. Everybody could see that Fred's like, one again. He's always on the ground. Whenever I
yeah,
see
yeah,
him with the
yeah,
ball, even if he wins the ball, he's on the ground. He does not win the ball, he's on the ground.
yeah,
He
yeah.
has the ball, nobody's around him, he'll fall. He'll be on the ground after making a pass. I'm like, dude, you gotta. What do we
Absolutely.
do to make you keep on your feet? But yeah, like Thomas Tuchel, amazing manager at this point in time, brilliant tactician, really good in-game management skills. Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. I think these three managers are like they will
Are
go for
are
the
are
Premier
the
League.
best of the best. Yeah, 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 yeah. Those are going to be the contenders for the Premier League. I really hope that it's a four-way race. But like I said earlier, I feel that United are going to drop off sometime around Christmas or maybe later in the year, and it's going to be City, Liverpool, or Chelsea. Like I said, whoever finishes above Chelsea is going to win the league.
And do you think if we finish fourth, hypothetically, if Man United finishes fourth, is that a bad result for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer,
Oh,
even if
absolutely,
the race
absolutely.
goes down to the wire and all four teams are pretty close together?
Yeah,
Would you still
then you can still make a case for Oli. But yeah, if you don't win a silverware this season, any kind of silverware, um, it's a failure, and I think he will have to go after that for sure.
um,
There's no way. If he manages to drop off the Premier League, it has to be the Champions League, the next one. You cannot just bring in Ronaldo, players like Ronaldo, Varane, and Sancho, and be be happy with winning a FA Cup or something like that.
We have to win an FA Cup. It's like not even being happy. We have to
Yeah,
win something this season
yeah.
for Ole to like be considered like a serious
I I
coach.
I I think I honestly feel that even if he win the FA Cup, he will get the sack if he don't win anything else, because that's what happened with Louis van Gaal as well. I really hope that happens with Oli as well.
Oh, but Louis Van Gaal was like dreadful, bro. Don't even
Yeah.
remind me of that time. I was like, oh,
Yeah, it's just, yeah, at least
you
from United's point of view, it's just unacceptable if you don't win with these current crop of players. I agree with whatever you said. Like the midfield is bad, Fred is bad, McTominay is not good enough. Everything, but you still have to get something. You still have to. There's no other way around this. Like if you bring in players like Ronaldo, Varane, and you say to me that it's okay if we win an FA Cup, if it's okay if we are there and thereabouts in the Premier League race and not competing. I don't think that cuts the chase. I think it's going to be the sack for sure.
well, I think we've talked enough today about
Yeah.
the Premier League. And before we go, some quick news from Barcelona. I feel Barcelona is taking the mantle of the banter club away from Arsenal.
Oh, absolutely.
Things going from bad to worse for them.
For them,
Where
absolutely.
does Barcelona sit in the La Liga at the moment?
I haven't actually taken a look, but I saw the game. I was actually watching the game live. It was such a bad game that I had to tune
Wow,
in and
you
watch
had to
watch it
watch it.
live, and to just believe that what was actually happening. And the have you seen the amount of crosses that Barcelona have put in that game? It was some ridiculous number, like 59 or 60 crosses or something like that. PK playing as the number 9. I Half of the players I haven't even heard their names. Some La Masia graduates. I know they are supposed to be
Ah,
special players, but what?
I
Domingueza? What?
I think
Oh,
Ronald Koeman has been asked by the board to play La Masia graduates because Barcelona, like their academy, is also
that
fallen
just
off the radar.
have you seen yeah, in one of the post match interviews, he said with this current crop of players, we can how do you expect us to play tiki tiki tiki
Tiki
tuku,
taka.
tiki tuku or something like that. He said tiki tuku or something like that.
Ah,
Like it's just bad at Barcelona right now. Like,
I mean, Ronald Koeman was brought in, but he wasn't respected as a coach. Like they brought in and then disrespected him immediately.
yeah,
Like who does that? If you bring in a coach, at least give him that authority over the players, right? If your coach does not have the authority, do you think he will survive in this environment
they,
where
right now they
and
don't even have the funds to sack him. Like even if they
yeah,
are contemplating to sack him, they don't have the funds to pay his severance package. So yeah, it's just
it's like
bad.
Barcelona is trying to
At this
eat
point in time, it
make their
feels
cake
like,
and eat it as well.
yeah, at this point in time, it just feels like PK might have to take money out of his pocket and just allow Barcelona to sack Ronald Koeman because he's playing him up top. Like it's just
That's what they're
bad.
doing.
It's just bad at Barcelona. It's sad to see, but that's how it is. It's just transition happening.
I mean,
But
it it had to catch up with them, right? It had to catch up with them. You
it
get
had
an
to. It
Usman
had to.
Dembele, Felipe Coutinho, and then this guy, Antoine Griezmann. Like you're doing in $130 million deals every season, and
Every
then
season. It's not
those
like
players don't fit.
one-offs. Yeah.
Like the players are not fitting in your squad. Like, and then
It's
you
just
cannot
bad.
even push them on. But I'm
It's
waiting for Sergio Aguero to get
I
his
don't know where he
preseason
is.
up.
I don't know where he is. If
Like
he
once
even he has been registered as, I know he has been registered as a
he's been
Barcelona player,
registered.
but yeah, where what are his fitness levels? What is he doing? No one knows.
Aguero has been registered. I feel once he comes in, he will give that, semblance of quality up top. And Memphis
He
Depay can play
that
off
po
Aguero just
that
behind
poor
him.
guy went to Barcelona expecting that he'll play with his best friend Messi, and now he's alongside Depay and Domingueza, Gavi. The amount of players. Oh, Ricky Puig.
Yeah, he Aguero truly went there to sort of win titles and challenge for the Champions League because he hasn't won the Champions League. And I thought that probably played on his mind when he wanted to get
He's
out
not
of his contract. I feel
he's not going to win
he,
a
he
Champions
can
League
still
for sure.
break free from his contract next season. And
Yeah. He can pay it off and just break ties with Barcelona. I think at this point in time, players who want to leave Barcelona will have to pay their own severance
severance
packages
package.
and leave and get out of contract. So yeah, it's just horrible at Barcelona.
Well, we'll leave it at that. A sad stage of affairs at Barcelona. I'm happy, but
Yeah,
but a little sad that this historic club is going through such a stage. But anyways, Man United went through it as well.
yes,
Any
absolutely,
club can go through it. But yeah, so Sagar, let's call it a night today. I think we've
yeah,
talked a lot, and
absolutely.
up until next weekend, after the Saturday and
A
Sunday fixtures are
Sunday.
done.
Mhm.
Yep. What are the fixtures? There's like I know Chelsea, Man City is a huge game. Any other big games next week?
Chelsea,
Oh,
Man
Arsenal,
City,
Tottenham.
Arsenal, Tottenham. I think United Villa is going to be a good game. Liverpool, Brentford. Yeah, those. I don't see anyone getting any other results there.
With Chelsea, City, and Arsenal, Tottenham,
Yeah,
two
it's going to be
huge
good.
games.
It's going to be good.
And yeah, let's connect back again. I'm sorry, I'm talking my MBA language at the moment, but I've gotten so used to sitting in work
A
meetings and then work
Sunday.
straight in.
Let's do it next on Sunday. Go over those games, and we can chat more about our fantasy teams as well.
Yeah, this time we'll bring in our fantasy teams. We're doing something really exciting behind the scenes, and Anmol did not join us. I hope
Yep.
next weekend he will
Next
join
week
us,
he should be able to. Yeah.
and then we'll start throwing out fantasy predictions for you guys so that you can work on your teams
We can do
and make
like
sure.
live kind of demos and then show what players to pick and the combinations or something like that maybe. Yeah, we can talk about that. You can see.
All right, guys. I hope you have a great week ahead and hope you're looking forward to some big Premier League action this weekend. We'll talk to you on Sunday. Have fun until then. Stay